It begins with a question so staggering, so unsettling, that once asked, it cannot be unasked. What if we, humans, the so-called pinnacle of Earth's evolution, are not the first civilization to walk this planet? What if, buried beneath the ocean's crushing depths, or locked inside the scars of Earth's crust, there lie whispers of an intelligence long erased, a chapter of history lost not just to memory, but to time itself? And what if the seeds of their existence, or perhaps even ours, came not from Earth at all, but from the stars? The camera of your mind's eye pulls back, rising above Earth, showing our planet as a fragile blue orb suspended in the blackness of space. To us, Earth feels eternal. Our mountains, our oceans, our continents, immovable, permanent. But the truth is harsher. Earth is a restless, shifting world. Entire continents rise and vanish. Oceans form and evaporate. Even the atmosphere itself has been built, destroyed, and rebuilt countless times. What survives through these cycles is rarely history. It's only stone. Imagine standing in the Sahara Desert. Today, it is an endless sea of sand, a barren expanse. But scientists have uncovered fossils of whales, yes, whales, embedded in its dunes. Once, this was an ocean. Imagine Antarctica cloaked in ice, so thick it buries mountains. Yet beneath it, scientists drilling into the ice found signs of ancient forests, rivers, and life teeming in a green world, now frozen solid. Earth has been many worlds we could scarcely imagine. And in those vast stretches of forgotten epochs, spanning not thousands but hundreds of millions of years, who is to say intelligence didn't rise, flourish, and collapse long before us? The mainstream timeline of humanity is short. Our species, Homo sapiens, has existed for around 3 civilization as we define it. Cities, agriculture, writing, is a mere 6,000 years old, a blink of an eye in geological time. But what about the 4.5 billion years before us? For nearly 3 billion years, life on Earth was microscopic. And then, suddenly, the Cambrian explosion, 500 million years ago. Life diversified at an unimaginable pace. Trilobites, giant sea scorpions, armored fish. In the following 500 million years, there have been multiple mass extinctions, each wiping the slate clean. The most devastating, 50 million years ago, erased over 90% of life. 90%. Imagine civilization existing then. Imagine skyscrapers, technologies, entire languages, all swallowed in fire and poison, ground back into dust. Would we even find a trace today? Geologists say no. The Earth recycles itself. Ocean floors vanish into trenches, dragged under by tectonic plates. Volcanoes erase landscapes. Ice sheets grind mountains into rubble. Even our most durable creations, bridges, buildings, plastics, would vanish in 10 million years. The Hoover Dam, reduced to gravel. The Great Pyramids, gone. Even New York, Paris, Tokyo, wiped away. If an intelligent species had risen, say, 60 million years ago, before the age of mammals, would we even know? Or would their legacy be reduced to a few anomalies in the rock, strange isotopes, unusual chemical signatures, the kinds of things most scientists dismiss as quirks? And here is where it gets unsettling, because such anomalies exist. In 1972, at a uranium mine in Gabon, Africa, scientists discovered something extraordinary. The uranium deposits there had undergone nuclear fission, naturally, but not in the way we understand it. The conditions required to achieve this were so precise, so perfect, that some researchers wondered, was this the byproduct of an ancient reactor built billions of years ago, long before humans? Officially, it's explained as a natural reactor, but to others, it is a haunting possibility, a trace of something we cannot quite place. Consider also the out-of-place artifacts scattered across history, tiny, gear-like objects found embedded in coal, said to be millions of years old. A metallic sphere discovered in South Africa, with grooves so precise they look manufactured, yet dated to nearly 3 billion years ago. Most are dismissed, explained as natural formations, or outright hoaxes. But what if only one was genuine? Just one would mean everything we know about history is wrong. And then there is the silence. For decades, scientists have listened to the stars, straining to detect signals from extraterrestrial civilizations. Yet the cosmos remains quiet. Some argue it's proof we are alone. Others whisper of something darker. Civilizations are born, rise, and then inevitably fall. Perhaps intelligence is not a gift, but a trap. Perhaps civilizations burn themselves out, leaving behind no more than faint scars in the geological record. If that is true, then Earth itself may be a graveyard, not just of species, but of civilizations. This brings us to a bold, breathtaking idea: panspermia. The hypothesis that life itself did not begin on Earth at all. That microbes, frozen and shielded inside meteorites, traveled across space, seeding worlds like dandelion spores in a cosmic wind. We know this is possible. Bacteria can survive the vacuum of space. They can endure radiation, extreme cold, even the fiery entry into Earth's atmosphere. In 2015, scientists discovered tardigrades, tiny water bears, could survive exposure to outer space. If simple organisms can endure such journeys, then perhaps life on Earth began not here, but far away. Perhaps we are aliens ourselves. The story grows stranger. Mars, billions of years ago, was warm, wet, with rivers, lakes, and even oceans. It had a magnetic field, a thick atmosphere, and conditions strikingly similar to early Earth. If life began there first, it could have easily traveled here. In fact, fragments of Mars have been found on Earth, meteorites blasted off its surface by ancient impacts. Some of these meteorites contain structures that, under a microscope, resemble fossilized microbes. NASA has never declared them definitive proof, but the question remains: are we Martian? Did our civilization begin on a different world, only to take root here? And if so, could the reverse also be true? Could Earth have seeded other worlds? Could ancient Earth have launched the spark of life outward, carried by debris flung into the cosmos by asteroid impact? Imagine this: civilizations rising and falling, not on one planet, but scattered across many, linked not by radio signals or spacecraft, but by the very molecules of life itself, a chain of existence spanning stars. And here is the chilling thought that refuses to leave. If panspermia is true, then perhaps civilizations are not unique. Perhaps intelligence has arisen countless times across countless worlds, and just as easily, perhaps it has been erased countless times. Entire histories, entire cultures, lost before they could even be known. Could Earth itself be a kind of archive, holding fragments of these stories in its rocks, in its DNA, in the whispers of evolution we barely understand? As night falls over our imaginary journey, we return to the Earth we know, cities glowing like fireflies in the darkness, humanity proud of its progress, convinced of its uniqueness. Yet beneath our feet, the Earth may conceal memories older than we can fathom. And above our heads, the stars may hold the secret of our true origins. If we are not the first civilization on this planet, then we are inheritors of a legacy we do not understand. A legacy written not in books, but in stone, in silence, in starlight. And the real question is not just whether we were the first, but whether we will be the last. Beneath the ruins of Göbekli Tepe, that temple older than Stonehenge, and the pyramids, archaeologists unearthed something more unsettling than carved stone pillars. The site itself is already an anomaly, built nearly 12,000 years ago, at the very dawn of human civilization, when our ancestors were supposedly still hunter-gatherers. But buried in its layers were fragments of knowledge that didn't belong. Depictions of animals extinct by the time humans settled there. Alignments to constellations in the sky that should have been invisible to the naked eye. The possibility creeps in: were these the memories of a people who remembered more than they should have? Could they have inherited knowledge from something or someone that came before? The Earth is a restless canvas. Tectonic plates shift, seas rise, glaciers advance and retreat. In a single cataclysm, thousands of years of progress can be erased as though it never existed. Scientists estimate that 90% of all species that have ever lived on Earth are extinct. If life is fragile enough to vanish so completely, what if civilizations? What if entire cultures rose, mastered technology or knowledge alien to us, and then fell beneath fire, flood, or ice? With each cycle of destruction, the record of their existence would crumble into dust. Humanity's history may not be a straight line. It could be a series of forgotten chapters, each one buried deeper than the last. Now we come to panspermia, the idea that life itself did not begin on Earth at all, that seeds of biology may have drifted across space, carried by comets, asteroids, or perhaps even placed deliberately by another intelligent. Organic molecules, the building blocks of DNA, have been found on meteorites that fell to Earth. Amino acids, the language of proteins, have been detected on comets. NASA's Stardust mission returned samples showing glycine, one of the 20 amino acids essential for life, embedded in cosmic dust. If life's ingredients are scattered everywhere, then Earth was not chosen. It was simply fertile ground. But then, who or what scattered these seeds? Was it chance or intent? Imagine a civilization older than our sun, watching as worlds were born and destroyed. Perhaps they mastered biology to such a degree that they seeded entire galaxies with life, ensuring that somewhere, somehow, intelligence would awaken again. If that's true, then Earth's life, including us, might not be unique, but part of a grand experiment billions of years in the making. The unsettling possibility is that humanity may not be the first intelligent species to walk this planet, but only the latest iteration in a cycle that spans the cosmos. Our planet's scars whisper of forgotten ages. The Younger Dryas event, 12,000 years ago, brought sudden global cooling, perhaps triggered by a comet impact. Massive floods reshaped continents. Entire ecosystems collapsed. Some scientists now argue that human history was reset in this cataclysm, that civilizations may have risen before only to be wiped clean. If that's true, then Göbekli Tepe is not the beginning of civilization, but the faint echo of one that managed to survive the storm long enough to leave behind a trace. The silence in the fossil record is haunting. Fossilization is rare, requiring the perfect conditions of pressure, sediment, and time. Most organisms vanish without a trace. Now imagine a city of stone and metal subjected to the grinding maw of glaciers, or swallowed by rising seas for tens of thousands of years. How much would survive? A few fragments of glass, a distorted alloy mistaken for natural ore. If another civilization thrived on Earth 1,000,000 years ago, would we even recognize its remains? This brings us back to the Fermi paradox. If life is common, where is everyone? Perhaps the answer is chillingly simple. Civilizations are fragile. They rise, they flourish, they collapse. Maybe intelligence is less a pinnacle and more a cycle. And maybe, just maybe, Earth itself has hosted this cycle more than once. But here's the most unsettling thought. If panspermia is true, and if we are the inheritors of a seed scattered from the stars, then we are not alone. Somewhere, other seeds must have sprouted. Other civilizations may already be looking outward, wondering the same thing. Perhaps one day we will meet them. Or perhaps, as we look deeper into our own past, we will discover that we have already met them, long before recorded history began. The story of life on Earth may not be a singular miracle, but part of a pattern that stretches across the galaxy. We may not be the first civilization, and we may not be the last. The truth is buried in stone, ice, and starlight, waiting for us to listen. And when we do, everything we know about our place in the universe will change.